All right, welcome Realty One Group Terminus family. So today we are going to be introducing you to our new partner, Earnnest Escrow Services. We have Robert, Chris, and Blaine. They're going to jump in and take over and give you a full-blown overview of what to expect and how this whole thing operates with us internally. So I'll kick it off to Robert and let you spearhead this.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Adrian. Again, everyone, we're really excited to be here launching this new partnership with Realty One Group Terminus. Let me get my screen share set up, and I'm actually going to turn it over to Chris to start us this morning. And everything
You.
looks good. I think we're ready to go, Chris.
Awesome, man. Thanks for driving. Hey, good morning, everyone. Chris Basinger here. Great to be with you. I'm the head of growth here at Earnnest. I know Blaine and Duncan are down in the southeast, but I'm actually in the North Shore of Massachusetts, dialing in with you all. I'm definitely missing the warm weather you guys are all experiencing. Adrian and I, we have been chatting. Adrian, I was looking at emails, and I can't believe we go all the way back to 2023. That's when we first
Wow.
started talking about, I know, escrow services. And Adrian and I have been collaborating, checking in with each other. As you guys can imagine, we have been very intentional and careful where we launch this escrow services. And if you guys weren't aware, Adrian was the tip of the spear for us there in Georgia and saying, "Hey guys, I want this." And we absolutely love, obviously being in prop tech, we love forward thinkers like Adrian that are innovative. They look at problems, they think outside the box. And as far as payment innovation and solutions go, that's what we're here to do with Adrian and your all's collaboration and feedback. And so appreciate his partnership on tackling real estate problems and kind of being again the tip of the spear and looking at innovative solutions to not only make your guys' lives easier, but honestly, more importantly, the client's life easier during that real estate transaction, bringing more security and transparency into that whole workflow is going to benefit everyone. So I'm quickly just going to give a quick backdrop on who Earnnest is, our industry presence. I know many of you all have used our product already with a few of our real estate partners there in Atlanta. But first, I'll kick us off more so like by the numbers. Again, just to kind of scope out a little bit and share, well, what we're doing in the industry since we launched in early 2018. So since then, we have moved, we've done over 525,000 transactions. We have moved $3 billion in earnest money. And then the best stat of all, we've had 0 instances of fraud. And that is really the name of the game right there. And that has really given us the platform to expand nationally with many of our partners, which leads us to our national network. So I love to break this slide down. When I talk about partners, you'll recognize some of these brands as, your brokerage peers there in your market. Notice the two big themes here is the fact that we have our partner network in the sense of our escrow network. That can be a brokerage. You guys see there's, some real estate attorneys there like McMichael and Gray, Hankin and Pack, as well as national title companies. And so between that and then our integration partners there at the bottom with CoreLogic, Lone Wolf, FlexMLS, Dotloop, we have really built an expansive, robust partner network, not only on the brokerage and escrow holder side, but also on the integration side. One thing that we realized early on at Earnnest is no two agents really do business the same way. You guys have your own business unit, your own ecosystem, and you put your unique touch and flavor on how you work with your clients. So to that end, we did not want to force you all into one workflow, but rather come at it from a very broad use case. So we've done integrations with MLSs, within transaction management platforms. We have an award-winning app that Blaine's going to break down for you all. But again, for those of you that have used us already, you are aware of just how flexible our payment solution is on your side of things. But overview, guys, our partners, we've laid the groundwork then to usher in what we're doing with you all now is escrow services. We've built this expansive network. We've integrated ourselves into most of your guys' workflow. And now we're extending ourselves from just not only being that conduit between the buyer's account and an escrow holder's account, we are now the escrow holder, that true neutral third-party escrow holder. So again, super excited to get this launched with you all. As you can tell, Adrian and I have been talking about this for a while, so I did not want to miss this launch. But I'm going to pass the microphone over to Duncan. He's going to dive into the nuts and bolts of escrow services. But if y'all need us, we'll be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris. Hi, everyone. As Chris mentioned, Earnnest Escrow Services, it's how money is held in real estate. So again, we are a cutting-edge escrow holder solution. We are a licensed real estate brokerage, and we don't have any agents. We focus solely on holding escrow funds for both you and your clients. Before we jump in too much to the nuts and bolts, just a little bit about me. I actually am located here in the Atlanta market. I live right here in Midtown. I cut my teeth in the real estate industry back in 2016 when I joined the Palmer House Properties team. And then I worked my way up to chief operating officer with Palmer House Properties. We were acquired by HomeSmart in 2021 when I moved over to be their senior director of franchise operations. And then back in December, I joined the Earnnest team to lead Earnnest Escrow Services because I believe in it so much for helping brokerages. Outside of real estate, I'm a big yogi. I actually recently just became a registered yoga teacher. So generally, if I'm not dealing with real estate, you can probably find me out at a yoga event somewhere in Atlanta. But enough about me. Let's jump into the nuts and bolts. So Earnnest Escrow Services was created to really help brokerages get rid of operational and legal challenges. You can see here, along the entire process, there's probably 10 to 15 different steps that a brokerage has to follow. And honestly, holding earnest money is a nightmare for brokerages. Realty One Group doesn't hold it. I think it's great. It allows them to service you more on the agent services side because they're not having to worry about the accounting, following up with agents, following up with closing attorneys. There's just so many steps there. So we really thought, how can we help brokerages, but also help agents and clients? And so our solution was to become a trusted escrow holder. So we came up with Earnnest Escrow Services. And the big difference here is we're a licensed brokerage. We have one agent, it's our broker. And then I handle all the overhead operational items for Earnnest Escrow Services. So again, we're not out here selling real estate. We are focused just on the legal aspects of holding escrow, making sure that everything's accounted for so that brokerages don't have to. And what's great is we can also use this for brokerages that know these hassles, didn't want to do it. Can't say that I blame them. And then we can offer this to you as a benefit to both you and your clients. So it's a win-win for everyone in this situation. We also offer irrevocable funds. So your funds are secure from start to finish. Funds can't be clawed back out of our escrow account. We also pride ourselves in transparency. So literally from the moment the request is made for earnest money through our platform, all parties have visibility into where those funds are. So from payment authorization to deposit to even a refund, everything's looped in. It's all automated via email receipts. You don't have to worry about it. And then lastly is support. If something does go wrong, you've got 2 first-class support teams available to each of you. So that's the Earnnest Escrow Services team, which I head up, and also our support team, who's under Blaine Wellgraven, who you guys will be hearing from here shortly. So let's jump right in with how do you use Earnnest Escrow Services. First off, it's identifying the escrow holder. So when you're preparing your offer to purchase, on line 6 of the GAR F201, you'll enter in Earnnest Escrow Services. And again, Earnnest is with 2 N's. And it's going to look something, well, actually it'll look just like this. So again, on your GAR F201, line 6, Earnnest Escrow Services, and that engages us as the escrow holder. This means you don't have to rely on a cooperating brokerage. You don't have to check with the closing attorney. You don't have to ask anyone. We are always happy to hold your earnest money. And all you have to do is put Earnnest Escrow Services on line 6 and then request those funds from your client. Also, when you're preparing your offer to purchase, we do require a notice of business relationship form. This simply indemnifies Realty One Group Terminus. It explains that you are not holding the escrow funds, but that you partner with Earnnest for escrow services. and that will be holding those earnest money funds. So again, keeps everyone safe, keeps Realty One Group clear, lets everyone know that we're the ones actually holding the earnest money. You'll also see at the bottom of it, it does let all parties know that we are holding the money in an interest-bearing account, and any interest earned will be retained by Earnnest Escrow Services. That's a requirement by the state when escrow or when earnest money is held in an escrow at an interest-bearing escrow account. Tongue twisters there. But good news is you just need an initial from both buyer and seller. No signatures required here. So we recommend you just throw it in with your offer package. That way everything's signed and initialed in one fell swoop. And then it's time to submit your documentation. So once you have fully executed documents, you're going to email those over to me and my team at escrow@earnnest.com. So again, remember, Earnnest is with 2 N's, and escrow@earnnest.com. And we don't need all of your documents. We just need those that pertain to earnest money. So again, that's going to be your GAR F201 purchase and sell agreement. That'll be any amendments that may come afterwards, either requesting additional earnest money funds, maybe you're reducing the earnest money funds. And then again, it will also be any release of funds. So your terminations, we'll want to get those. And then of course, once the property closes, we'll want to get that settlement statement as well, just to verify that we were good to release those funds. And then next is for your client to submit the earnest money. And again, we use the Earnnest platform. We're one of the most secure platforms out there. And then again, you can request that as the agent. If you work with a TC on the side, you can also have your TC request those funds as well, which leads us into our product experience. So again, we have a great app suite, a web app. We even have payment links. At this point, I'm actually going to turn it over to my colleague Blaine Wellgraven to give you guys an overview of our product and how to make those requests.
Well, thank you so much, Duncan, and thank you, Adrian. As Chris mentioned, you guys have been working on this for months, and now Duncan's been involved very heavily. So really excited to get this partnership launched and excited to talk about our product a little bit. You can see here on my screen, if you'd like to, the agents on this call, please jump in right now and feel free to download the Earnnest app. This is the award-winning tool that Chris mentioned. I love what Earnnest has done with our accessibility and our ease of use for agents. We build off of bedrock security, best in the nation as far as moving funds securely without fraud, but we combine that with just an amazing convenience. The average agent, yourselves, are going to go through the request process in our app in about 60 seconds or less. It is smooth. It is seamless. It is easy to use. In fact, I'm going to share my screen for just a moment here. We'll come back to the slide here shortly, but I want to show you guys just a little teaser of how simple this is to use. One moment here as I get my screen set up correctly. There it is. All right. And should be seeing everything right now. Can we confirm, Duncan, you see both the phone app simulator and the backdrop?
Oh,
beautiful.
no, we are seeing your notes page.
No space. Okay, stop share there. Sorry about that, guys. Let's try it again here. Notes are interesting, but not on this call. All right, we'll try it again. I'm doing desktop too, and that's what it says it's grabbing. We'll try again. How about now?
Yes, I'm seeing the app simulator and your Earnnest app page. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So you see on the left of my screen the app simulator, which hopefully some of you are now downloading the app as you go. You're also seeing in the backdrop the page you can go to learn a little bit more about our app suite. And I use the term app suite because it is an app suite. It's not just a phone app. We're used to hearing the word app, and we think about all those things on our phone. Well, this is also a desktop suite as well for those of you out there, and there are thousands of agents out there we have found that prefer to work from their desktop. I'm going to highlight both for you guys, okay? So first off, you can see on the left of my screen, the phone app, clean, simple. You'll download, you'll sign in with your brokerage email, or you can set up Face ID once you've signed in initially. And then you see this interface here, guys. Creating a request is going to take you about 60 seconds, as I mentioned. But once you've created a request, you see right here that you can click into any request you've created. This is just a demo environment, so obviously you're not seeing your Realty One Group Terminus name here, but you can see how you can track the request every step of the way. Really nice. You will know exactly where your buyer is as they click the link that you've generated to their email, as they go ahead and get their bank connected and their ID verified. And even after they've paid, when they hit payment authorized status, when that goes green, if you will, you can still track the payment moving across the ACH network. So you're never going to be in doubt. And keep in mind, guys, this is on top of the receipts we send to all parties, which Duncan will be showing you shortly. Whenever a transaction is authorized in Earnnest system, everybody looped in on the request, from the request maker, that's you, to the payer home buyer, gets a receipt with all of the transaction details on it. So we have worked very hard to make sure that everybody is kept in the loop here, guys. It's a beautiful, seamless product. That said, guys, there is also the desktop app. Now, the desktop app can be accessed from our website. If you go to earnnest.com, there's a sign in button on the upper right side. And we're going to get you all these follow-up instructions for Adrian and for you guys. So you'll have all this. But when you sign in using your same email, that's the key. This is all one account, 2 different ways to access. So use your same email so you don't split up your account. When you sign in, you'll have the option to create a request from there as well. You'll punch in the key details, takes about 60 seconds or less, and you're on your way. Now, this is live, so I can actually pull up your searchable name. See how easy that is? No routing, no account instructions, nothing. It's already hardwired in. You select this, guys, and you have directed where the money will absolutely go every single time. Your buyer can't change any of these details. Not a thing. Absolute security around the request. In both the phone app and the desktop app, you have the ability to add additional email recipients to get the receipts that Duncan is going to show you. In the phone app, you just have extra trackability and some additional bells and whistles, but it's nice to have both workflows, okay? So that is there for you guys. Let's switch back to the slide presentation. Duncan, my screen's still good?
Yep.
Perfect. I'm going to present the slideshow before I pass back off to Duncan. So guys, this is what your buyers will see when you as the agent generate a request to them. It is so simple. They really just have to click the big green button, get their ID verified, and connect their bank account. Atlanta has an awesome bank network, guys. Most of your buyers are going to breeze through in 3 or 4 minutes max, which means then for you as the agent, this whole deal end to end, this part of the deal with the Earnnest money, you're talking about 4 to 5 minutes and no one has to go anywhere. This can be done car line, coffee line, driving. You know, let's hold on that one. Don't do it while driving. We promote good funds. We also want to promote good driving. Please don't do it while driving. It's Atlanta traffic after all. But you can do this quickly and they can do this quickly. Okay? What does the buyer see when they go through? Let's look at that 3 to 4 minute process. They sign in. They add their bank details. Guys, we're going to cover this later. We got lots of great resources for you as agents to make this a practical part of your business. But the one overarching thing I want to drill for everybody here, we see nothing, the payer inputs related to their banking and login information. We don't store it. We don't remember it. We don't even see it. We only get access to tokens that go in and out, and we don't see them again. Okay? So there is nothing for a bad actor to go to Earnnest for your buyer. Just want to have assurance there for y'all. We have the identity screen. Again, guys, this is essentially a search of publicly available records. It is simple, it is smooth, it takes place in an average of about 3 seconds when they hit submit. They add their bank. We have 13,000 of them in network, guys. And as I mentioned, Atlanta has a great bank network. So this is seamless. They are literally adding their bank in seconds. Review and pay. They get to check the details one last time. They hit pay. Earnnest money is done. Easy, easy. And they get that final message and an email to boot. So without further delay, then I will turn it over to Duncan, and he'll come back to me at the end here to talk a little bit about our support team that we have in case something does happen. Thanks, Duncan.
Thanks so much, Blaine. Yeah, so as Blaine mentioned, once your buyer has clicked payment authorization, a lot of automations are going to happen, and I call these transparency of funds. This is probably one of my most exciting parts of Earnnest, because when I was working for Palmer House Properties and HomeSmart, we were always chasing down receipts. So whenever we partnered with Earnnest, we always had receipts. We always knew where they were. We could always get them again. So as soon as your buyer hits submit payment, the first thing that's going to go off is a payment authorization receipt. This is going to automatically go to the requester, which is generally you, the agent. It's going to go to the payer, which is your buyer. It's going to come to the escrow holder, which is me and my team. And then we're also going to send a copy to your brokerage team. So everyone's going to get the receipts that they need. As Blaine mentioned, when you're creating those requests, if you want to go ahead and loop in the listing agent as well, you can type in their email address there and they'll stay in the loop on each one of these receipts as well. We really try to make it as seamless as possible for everyone to get all of these receipts. Generally, in about 3 days, those funds deposit into our escrow account. And again, then another automated receipt is going to go out for the deposit. The payment authorization is just like your client handing a check into the brokerage. That deposit receipt is going to come once that check clears, if you will. So again, payment authorization, the same as them turning in a check. Deposit receipt is once it clears into our account. And again, the receipts are going to go to the payer, the escrow holder, which is Earnnest Escrow Services, and your brokerage will get a copy as well. So again, everything you need is going to be right there and go directly to who it's needed. We do offer check or wire in extenuating circumstances. So if those funds do ever have to be submitted that way, we do still send these great receipts as well. They're just manually done by my team. Just finishing up some processes here. Earnest money defaults. So in the event that a buyer doesn't pay their earnest money on time, or we get a non-sufficient funds notice, or if there's a non-intentional failure due to a bank error, we'll notify all parties. So that's listing agent, buyer's agent, seller, and buyer. And then we'll just wait to hear back from the parties on how to move forward. So again, we are taking care of all of the follow-up, making sure everyone stays in the loop here, and then waiting to see how to proceed from the parties. Next up is releasing earnest money. So, excuse me. If the transaction terminates, you'll just submit those termination documents to us. We will look for mutually agreed upon disbursement instructions, and then we'll release those funds according to those. In the event there is a dispute, we do follow Georgia's standard 10-day notice procedure. We partner with a local Georgia real estate closing attorney, Hankin & Pack. Their primary attorney, John Hankin, is the one who reviews all of our disputes as well. So not only does our broker look at it, you have a second line of defense from an experienced real estate attorney reading the contract for what it is. There's no bias. We're a neutral third party. So you're going to get the best service on disputes there. You don't have to worry about any bias from a cooperating brokerage here. Great news is we'll also be sending your funds to the closing attorney for you, so you can get paid in full at closing. So again, we're working behind those scenes to get that sent. We contact the closing attorney, get all the information, and then send those funds 3 days prior to closing. So again, you don't have to make any request, anything like that. Those funds will just be there for you at your closing, generally 3 days before that closing date. And then of course, in the event that those funds don't end up with the closing attorney, not a problem at all. Once we get that settlement statement, we'll release those funds directly over to Adrian and his team to make sure you guys get paid out in a timely manner. Lastly is resources and guides. While our support team is available from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, there are some times where you guys are working outside of those hours. So we have a great resource library for both you and your buyers, everywhere from understanding what the Earnnest app is, how to request, how to collect if you're the listing agent. So you can also work it in where if you love using us, which I think you will, you can start saying when you're the listing agent that funds for earnest money will be held by us. So again, you can request those as a listing agent. And then again, we've also got payer guides as well. So again, if your payers have any questions about Earnnest, the security, what's actually happening, how to complete that guide, we've all got those available for you 24/7. And again, like Blaine mentioned, we'll be sending out a link to Adrian. That's our full resource library, especially for Earnnest Escrow Services partners. So again, we tried to make sure that you guys have everything at your fingertips from the start. Contacts. So anytime you need to reach out to Earnnest Escrow Services, when you or your buyer need to understand our process, if you need to get a status update for deposit or release, reach out to my team. We can resend copies of receipts. We can release funds prior to closing for any reason, as long as it's legal. And then again, if we need to address any alternate payment options, we can discuss that as well. So again, it's just escrow@earnnest.com. We're also available via phone at 864-523-4947. Again, full support team. There's like 6 people watching the email and about 6 people watching that phone line as well. So again, you've got great support from start to finish on the Earnnest Escrow Services team. And I'm going to bring Blaine back in to talk about his amazing Earnnest support team who can help you guys with the actual app process.
Yeah, thank you, Duncan. Just wrapping it up here, guys. It is what it says. We've got a great support team. One of the things that we're really proud of here at Earnnest is that we are completely in-house on our support team. That is a direction that we started from the very beginning of Earnnest. It's only expanded in the 3 years that I've been working with that support team. I would say, guys, just to put your minds at ease here, though, no pun intended, that over 90% of our transactions go through without any party. The escrow holder, obviously that's us, but the buyer, the agent, none of them have to contact anybody. 60% of those, less than 90% of cases that come to us, 60% of those are just learning paths, guys. What that means is there's nothing technically going on. It's a buyer who maybe hasn't done a digital payment before and says, what's this button? Or what are you doing here? Are you taking my bank information? Totally expected, part of the operational cost of doing business, and we will take care of those in a timely, swift manner for y'all. The remainder are usually pretty simple. They're not technical bugs. It might be a buyer that has, say, a local credit union, and the banks don't automatically connect with Plaid, so they have to trigger microdeposits. That is about as technical as it gets, and most payers can be walked through that in less than a minute, okay? We answer 100% of calls between 8 and 8 when we're open Monday through Friday. We return all missed calls over the weekend by 10 a.m. Eastern time Monday morning. This is a great team, and I'm about to drop you guys the direct link to our support page. You see the slide there, but if you ever want to get more resources or save that page, these pages are available. They are accessible from within your app suite, both the desktop and the web app and the phone app, all right? So we really pride ourselves on this. This is part of the Earnnest difference. Anything that's not directed at my friend Duncan, if it's on any way a technical issue, send it to support and we'll take good care of you, okay?
Thank you so much, Blaine. And with that, I actually want to toss it back to Adrian. Did we miss anything? Want us to retouch on anything? And then we can open up the floor for questions.
Sounds good. No, I think you did a phenomenal job of explaining exactly what you guys do and how it's going to benefit our agents and their clients. So I thank you for that. If we have any additional questions, please drop them in the Q&A section. I see, Albert, you had a question. Will a link be sent to us walking us through to how to create our account? And I've answered yes, it will be. And again, there's also some links inside the chat area that you can jump into now. But yeah, again, they have a phenomenal support team. So if you have any questions outside of, if you run into any issues, rather, while you're trying to, get connected, they're all there to help you, right? But again, it's very straightforward. And that resource link is going to have literally everything that you need to be able to get up and going. Any additional questions? Let's see. What is the fee for the service? Ask Pam.
Yeah, hey, Pam, that's a great question. So for you as the agent, there is no fee. Just like a wire, we charge a nominal fee to cover our security risk that we're doing on the back end. So it's a simple $24 fee. Excuse me, it's a simple $24 fee that's paid by the buyer. However, if you have repeat clients or you just want to cover that fee for them, we do have that ability inside of our app as well. So you can cover that fee for your repeat clients, but it is $24, which is less than a wire. But remember, we're cutting down on wire fraud. We're keeping you and your clients safe. there is no way we could steal their money, which is part of that $24 processing fee.
Yep.
Great question.
Absolutely. Any additional questions? I see Pam has another question. Do we have to do the Georgia 201 every time we have a client? Yeah, let me give me 1 second here, Pam. I'm not sure. Are you referring to the purchase and sell agreement? Because yes, you would from a brokerage standpoint. Somebody had their hand raised. Oh, they lowered it. Yeah, so Pam, I'm not sure I understand the question fully, but you would absolutely have to do a GAR Form 201 every time we have a client. Now, if you're asking, is it required for you to use Earnnest escrow service in each one of those cases, then no, right? This is an optional service. But again, part of the reason why we're putting this into place is to make the process that much more streamlined for you and your client, right? And to protect you to the utmost. So again, if there's for whatever reason any kind of pushback, then again, you're not required, you're not mandated to use Earnnest, right? We could still allow the closing attorney to host escrow. However, again, the whole purpose behind this partnership is to make it streamlined, more efficient, and again, more protected for all parties involved. Okay, you said not that.
Oh, so you're talking about the notice of business relationship form, Pam?
Yes, so that part you would have to have signed off on, Pam. So if Earnnest is going to be the escrow holder, you would have to have that document signed as well, or initialed. But again, you could literally just add that into the workflow as you're sending out that document. So it shouldn't increase the workload at all. It's literally just an additional document in a couple of extra places where you have to drag the initial.
Yeah, and I will say it's important for us to have that because GREC requires it because of the interest-bearing account. However, it's also really beneficial because our job as a real estate brokerage is to protect the public, and we are being upfront from the start, letting them know that while it does say Realty One Group Terminus powered by Earnnest Escrow Services, we want to make it extra clear of who's holding those escrow funds. So again, we are always looking out for the public, but we also want to protect you and Adrian and Realty One Group Terminus. So we have actually received no pushback from any of our current partners on getting their clients to sign that, or sorry, initial that. Yeah.
Great question.
Yep, Pam, just like the STAR F510 and the F5 of 11, just now it's one document, it's only signatures, and we're never going to turn you guys down. Some attorneys may say no. We are never going to tell you no. We will always hold your earnest money. That's what we are here for. Yep.
Anyone else?
Adrian, I think Albert may have had a question.
Where will this document be located so I can download it? So it'll all be inside of SkySlope. So it'll be a form that we upload to SkySlope that all of our agents will have access to. So you'll be able to download it inside of SkySlope. The forms area is inside of SkySlope for sure. And our operations team can email it out as well, but it will live inside of the SkySlope forms. And what we could do too, just to make it more streamlined, because that's a great question. We can also have it uploaded, even though I encourage all of you guys to use SkySlope forms, we can have it uploaded to Transaction Desk inside of Georgia MLS, as well as Read My Docs inside of FMLS. So if you guys are still using those to get your forms from, then it'll be there for you as well. It won't be with the GAR forms, however. It'll be its own section that says office forms, but we can do that for you too.
And that's exactly how most of our partners now are doing it as well. They just add it to where their agents are getting forms from.
Great question.
Very good.
Anyone else? Going once. Does somebody have their hand raised? Pam, do you still have your hand raised, or was that from your initial question? Yes, go ahead. I assume you're typing it. Okay, there we go. I had the app with Edge. Will I have to change the app? Yes, absolutely.
And Pam, what you'll do is you'll just log in with your Realty One Group Terminus email. So if you had a different email that you were using for your real estate practice when you were with Edge, you can still use that email address if you need any of your prior information from the Earnnest app there. If you want to start clean though, just use your Realty One Group Terminus email address. It'll start fresh for you. And just remember to always use that email address and everything will be right there for you, but you don't need to re-download the app, no. Of course,
Yeah.
good question.
Yeah. And just make sure it's fresh so it's not convoluted. So if you need to start over from scratch, by all means, start over from scratch. Because I know you don't share the same email address as you previously had. Because whichever email you have inside of Zone, make sure you use that one. Again, just to keep everything streamlined and connected. But yeah, great, wonderful question. Cool. Anyone else? All right, that looks like that's it. If you have a question and you're typing it in, if you want to raise your hand real quick so I know that there's another question coming. If not, I'm going to kick it back over to Duncan so he can wrap it up. All right, looks like we're good.
Awesome, perfect. Again, Adrian, thank you so much. Thank you everyone on the call for joining us. We're really excited about this partnership. Can't wait to see some transactions come in. I'll let you guys in on a tiny little secret. On the back end, we call Earnnest Escrow Services EASE for short. So my motto is, remember, keep it easy and put Earnnest Escrow Services on line 6, everyone. Again, don't ever hesitate to reach out to me or my team. We're here to assist you from start to finish. And again, I'll be sending an email with some additional information that Adrian and his team can pass along to Adrian here shortly. So again, we'll make sure you guys have everything that you need there. But again, we are here to support, so don't hesitate to reach out to us. Hope to see you guys out at some real estate events here in Atlanta. Thanks again, Adrian, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.
Likewise, I appreciate y'all.
Adrian.
See ya.